Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. I hope you're having a great day today. If you're new to the channel, I want to welcome you to my home. This is my tall fescue slash Kentucky bluegrass yard. And also, if you're new, I want to go in and tell you, May 1st, I'm giving away 5 battery powered backpack sprayers. The way you get entered into that drawing is be on my email list and subscribe to the YouTube channel. All that's in the description below. Now, one of the cool features of this is it comes with different cartridges. Look at the pollen. Holy cow. And look at this thing right here. This right here is called their turf rake. You can see the tines are very flimsy. They're not real hard, and there's a reason for that. We'll talk about that in a second. But you can see it's just many of them all the way down through here. Kind of acts like a comb. Now, what we're going for is it's called thatch, okay? Now, if you look down in here, get all the way down in there, that's dirt right there. I have very little thatch in my yard. And I know you're thinking now, I said, well, dang, Pete, you don't even bag your clippings. You throw everything. It's right. I throw my grass clippings all the time. It's very rare for me to actually collect or bag the clippings off of this yard. Now, so what is thatch? Well, it's kind of like a buildup of both living and dead material, organic material, that if your dirt is here and your grass plant is here, that thatch kind of grows right in between them. But too much thatch causes trouble, right? When you apply your fertilizer and your little pebbles go down, it's hard for it to get down to the ground. When it rains or you water, it's harder for that water to get through the thatch layer into the soil. And when you water that fertilizer, it's harder for that fertilizer to get through the thatch and get to the soil. I think you see where I'm going, right? Now, a little bit of thatch ain't a big deal, but needless to say, I don't have a whole lot in my yard. So why am I doing this? Well, I'm basically kind of adopting a brand new way of lawn care this year on my yard. These machines are made in the UK, and over there, they're a little more restricted on chemicals and fertilizer and fungicides and all that kind of thing as far as their yards go, but yet they still have some really amazing looking turf. I mean, amazing. Their philosophy is, or one of their philosophies is, to keep the ground clean, okay? What I mean by that is anything that's in the yard that's not dirt and not grass needs to come out, okay? So basically we're going to kind of open the canopy up a little bit, right? I done the front yard the other day, and absolutely no thinning out, and it is absolutely, it looks totally completely different to the eye. It feels totally and completely different walking on it. So we're going to do this one spot right here in the yard, and I want to show you how much material comes out of my yard. A lot of you've seen it for years now, and you know how healthy it is and thick it is and all that kind of thing. But I want to show you even some of the best looking yards around. Not saying mine is, but I don't even know how to say that. The yard looks good, but even with it being as good as I think it is, or as healthy as I think it is, there's still going to be a lot of material come out of a little tiny spot. First of all, we need to measure this spot, because I want you to know, put some numbers with the pile that comes out of here so to give you an idea. All right, so how do you come up with square footage? Well, that's pretty easy. It's length times width. I don't have a roller or a tape measure. I do wear a size 12 boot, so I'm gonna walk it off. If you can see right here, I can come right here and cut this off and make almost a perfect square. And I've got this one little tiny area right here. All right, 11 times 7 is 77. All right, so 33 times 30 is 990, plus 37 is 1,067, 57, something like that. Right about 1,000 square feet right here. And let's get with it, and I'm gonna show you how much crap comes out of my yard. Alright, so you remember last year I had, I don't know, 6 or 8 spots of Poa trivialis in the yard, and I kind of put it off for a while. Never really did anything to it. Made my mind up last year I'm gonna smoke it off and be done with it. And I did, and that required patience because I had to kill it in the spring. I had about 3 or 4 very small spots pop back up in the yard like this. Now you can see the way I've got that raked. I can see this really good and get down in here to the roots and pull this out. Now, is this going to come back next year? I have absolutely no clue. Absolutely, I don't know. But I've got a much better chance of getting it out while it's all thinned out like this. And see, I can see all the way down to the dirt. And I can get a good grip on it and pull it out. And of course, I'll go right back and put a little GCI tall fescue on here. Wow, what a root system. Good gracious alive. No wonder it's hard to kill this stuff. And I'll get that grass seed on here. Once I get my irrigation pumping, that should pop on in just fine. And again, time will tell if this will stay away. Now, I did use that Miramichi green, that total burn down organic quick kill last year on my other Poa trivialis, and I can say this, not one single drop of it anywhere has come back this year. Look how dark that dirt is right there. Good gracious alive. Humic acid, boy, I'm telling you, some good stuff. Now, as far as you see, here's a couple other little, now these are much smaller, they're teeny tiny pieces. I'm gonna get that. And then here's one right here, and I've got one right out there, and then I think there's one in the front yard. And as far as back here in the back, there's none back here in the back. No, I take that back, it might be one right over there. But I'll use the same process I did just now, and I'll pull it out, seed it, and see what happens. Oh, here it is right here. It's not over there, it's right here. Now you can see this looks a little bit different. See how nice and fluffy this right here is? It'd be a little bit harder to get down in here to the root. Good gracious. Oh, look at there. That one come up good. I got a hole in the yard now, but I can fill that in, put a little seed on it. That worked out nice. Matter of fact, gosh, that actually come up a little bit easier and come up in one chunk. I may do that, then do my raking. So that's why you try different things different ways. You're always learning. Now, as far as walking on the ground, that is night and day difference than what it felt 30 minutes ago. It's not squishy, it's firm. All right, now here's another cool example. Let's see if I can get you down here. You see how that's sticking up a lot higher than my cut line. And actually I cut this at 1 3/4 inches the other day because I really didn't like that 2-inch cut. It wasn't tight enough. But the 1 3/4, of course, it's been 3 days since I mowed it, and it hadn't grown a whole lot right now. We've been in a cool snap, but the point I'm trying to get at is you can see that sticking up right here. So I'm not cutting my grass even. I want part of the philosophy of doing lawn care this way is we want all the grass cut at the same height. And what happens is over time, some of that may get matted down in there like that. And then it never gets cut, but it's still growing. Then I come in and rake it and pull it up. You can see how much longer that is. Now when I come back and cut it with my mower, it'll all be the same height. You can see right here, I got a little too aggressive with that thing, man. Now it's one thing, it will do a little bit of damage if you're too aggressive. What I did is I had the tines down and turned the machine on, and it dug right here instead of tilting the front wheel back, turning it on, start a forward pace and ease it down. That way it gradually goes into the ground. So this right here is my fault. Now the trick to making this work is I'm going to start from the top of the ground and work my way down. I'm not going to gouge it in the ground and dig up everything at once. That's what tears the grass up. That's why I've never been a fan of traditional dethatching machines, because me personally, I feel like they tear the grass all to pieces. But with this machine, I can inch it down a little bit at a time and start at the top and work my way down. I think I just went over this 5 times maybe. I pulled quite a bit of stuff out. We'll go look at that in a second. But the point I'm making is I still have a long ways to go, because I'm not even on the ground yet. I'm still that high off of the ground, at least an inch off the ground. So I'll have to do this a few more times, and as I'm doing it, start going down lower and lower and lower until I'm just barely tickling the dirt, and then I'll clean it up for good then. I know you're saying, gosh, it's a lot of work. Well, yeah, it is. It's a lot of work right off the bat at first, but once I get everything cleaned up, once I get everything out of the yard, I'm basically going to do that once a month, just to kind of maintain, so it really won't be all that hard then. All that come out of 1,000 square feet, about halfway down, or using half of the depth that I need to finish at. And you can see it's just crap on top of crap. Now, there is some good grass blades in there. Okay, I'm not at all worried about that. That'll heal up and come right back. But I'd say that's at least 65% crap, maybe 35%, or maybe 70-30. I'll probably go 70-30 on this. 70 crap, and then about 30% good grass blades. But again, I'm not worried about that, but I am glad I got all that crap out of the yard. So again, if you're new and you're kind of unsure, like, what's this guy doing cutting a fescue yard with a reel mower? Well, it's a challenge for myself, a learning curve for myself. I'm trying to see what my fescue can hold up to. It's actually at 1 3/4 inches now. I'll probably keep it there simply because I didn't like the 2-inch cut. So again, make sure you're cutting your tall fescue high. Let me be the guinea pig. Let me figure out if this is going to work or not. Then you can watch the video and say, I might want to try that, and nah, I believe I'm not. Say, I appreciate you taking your time out of your day to watch. Again, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to show you a lot of cool things with this machine. I've got an aerator for it. I'm going to aerate about once a month during the entire year. So that's going to be cool to see that process. I'll be running a turf rake about once a month once I get it cleaned up the first go round. And of course the big question is, will the tall fescue handle an 1 3/4 cut throughout the entire summer? So while I've got the trailer here, I'm going to get started back there on the back. The front is pretty much done for the first pass over. This section is done, so I'm going to start working on the back before it's time to go eat supper. Thank you for watching. I'll check you later. This right here is the reel to it. It's an 8-blade reel, and boy, it's heavy and it cuts some kind of good. And you can see this little bad boy right here, ain't it cute? This is more of the homeowner type version of the one I got, and super duper cool right here. Runs off a battery. Watch this. Oh yeah. This is going to be my Kentucky Bluegrass yard mower back there in the back. And I got a really cool video back there lined up. I have let the Kentucky Bluegrass spot in the back go out of control. It is weedy and yucky and messy and crappy. I'm going to show you how to fix it.